Hey, Shalom, Shalom. When the stuff was by giving no praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, B'Shem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS and honors to you brothers doing the work in truth with sincerity. Yeah, this one's, would you call it, just on, oppression, right? So, one of the brothers did a video, no, I can't, on oppression. As I just, did a word search, for oppression, in the scriptures, and, we go into a couple of those. Right, but hey, you see, everyone's oppressed under this damn devil, man. But he's just doing his job, right? Esau being the devil that he is. Of late you've had this big thing in the news, i.e. the immigration crisis, whatever, with Trump basically separating, families, separating children from parents, which is nothing new. It's nothing new. You've had what do you call it? You had that happen, during slavery, right? You have it, whenever these, what you call it? Let's say that a parent does something that the a government doesn't like, right? Then, hey, what does the government come and do? Comes and takes away the children, separates the children from the parents, right? So this is, what you call it? This is the same, what you call it? These guys are devils, right? They, and these people are sheep, right? And they just basically get offended by the things that they're told to get offended by. For instance, here it is. These are the same people that will then applaud, Ireland legalizing abortion. So these people are wicked. But don't get me wrong. This immigration, that was wicked, right? That's traumatic. Right. Also, you had the article that the brother, or basically the topic, what do you call it, that the one of the brothers did a video on, right? Says talking about, how you have Syrians selling their organs to travel to this godforsaken land, right? And why they going to such extreme lengths? Because Esau was in their land, destroying their land. Right, so I can get into the scriptures now. Right, it's Deuteronomy 28:29. It says, "And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways." Hey, that's why Jake can't prosper, man. Hey, if you see a Jake that gets money, the latter end ain't, hey, I have family members that, that have money, man. Right. But then, everything's a fucking mess, man. This family, that this member of their family's dropping dead. Right, this scandal's happening. Right, that's just Jake in general. Right, a lot of these, artists, they be getting in those positions, well, because they've took dirty deals, but their latter end ain't great, man. Right, look at OJ. Look at what's this guy, Cosby. Right, it says, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Right, Israel, this is the curses spoke, Deuteronomy 28, right, which is the book of the curses. The first 15 verses are like, look, man, you do what you got to do. These are the blessings. Right, 15th verse is like, yo, but if you don't do, this is what's going to happen. So from 15 all the way down to 68, you got a whole load of curses. And one of those curses is that we, the nation of Israel, shall be oppressed. Right? And our current oppressors, we've been oppressed by all these heathen nations, really, if you want to get to. And that's why these heathen nations are going to go into slavery. Right? He says, and no man shall save thee. Right? Hey, because no man was going to set us free. Only person that can deliver us is Yahweh Shai, through the power of Yahweh, man. Right, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Right. This is Job 27. I'm going to start from verse 13. It says, this is the portion of a wicked man of God, and the heritage of oppressors. Right, it says Esau. Right, it says, which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Right. So here it is, you might be seeing those ugly ass Edomite kids, and hey, man, you know what? Those Edomite kids are actually fucking ugly, man. Heads all fucked up and shit, this, that, and the other. But hey, what you call it? You see those Edomite kids, the reason why they're multiplying, as the scripture is saying, is for the sword. Right, so here it is, Esau's going around oppressing everyone, but he's not considering his latter end. It's like I said, later end, he'll be, hey, America's gonna be completely destroyed in Israel. Esau, Satan, right? Esau, after 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, he's gonna be put away forever. Right, let me just grab that real quick. Let me close some of these tabs. This computer can't hack it anymore, man. Right, this is Obadiah 1:18. It says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken it. Right? So because of all the wickedness that they have done, right, these Edomites, right, the so-called white people, right, they're gonna, they're gonna be completely destroyed after 1,000 years of slavery. Right, it shall be burnt up. Right, this is Psalm 73. If I'm gonna start from a bit further up, 3 and 5 says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither as they plague like other men. Right, saying their brothers were speaking on this yesterday, because they ain't no hardship, they ain't no oppression. Right, they live life. You hear the way they they talk. A couple holidays a year. Children have never ever known what it is to want. Children have never, family has never known, that sound of electric going off. I know what that sounds like, man. You do what you're doing. Oh yeah, it's electric just cut off, right? You just, whatever game you were playing, that's gone. Then you got to find the candles, if you have any candles, right? Then you got to, maybe go to the meter and put emergency, or take the, electric key, go to the shop and put £1 on there, right? They don't know those things, man. Right, it says, therefore pride hath compassed them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment, right? And they're proud. Right, it says their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more than heart could wish. It says they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. Right, they speak loftily, and you hear them. You hear the way these guys speak. Hey, these rich devils, man. Hey, they all complain about a guy because the guy's got all of these people on benefits, but then they'll have like a 60-inch TV, right? And these guys are complaining that a poor man has a 60-inch TV. But it's like, what other form of entertainment can they get? These times, this rich man is going on, that one holiday that him and his family goes on costs like 3-4 grand. But that 60-inch TV maybe costs 500 and is going to last, that family several months, if not years. Right, like I said, but these times, this rich man has gone like 3-4 holidays a year, each costing like 3 G's. Yeah, he's going to complain about that. Right? Yeah, it's because they ain't in trouble as other men, so they don't know what it's like. They just have it good all their life, man. It's Ecclesiastes 7:7 says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, and the gift destroyeth the heart. Right, so surely, that's people come up to us and be like, oh, why so angry, this, that, and the other, why this, why that? That's because we oppressed, man. We can't deal with our women the way we want to deal with them. I just got off the phone, so blah, a woman giving them a headache, man. And you can't even correct it. That's oppression. The fact that you've got another man in your relationship that has more power in your relationship than you do with your own woman, and that man is Esau, and these women know that. These women know that their boyfriend's really a bitch to Esau, man. Right, hey, you lay hands on your woman, see if Esau don't come lock you up. So you got to take all of that shit. That's oppression. You can't lay hands on your children. Right, you see, despite what the scriptures say, hey man, look, train a child, and if child ain't doing right, you're supposed to give him the rod, man. Right, whip that kid. Beat him. You're supposed to, whip that boy's ass, man. right? So that he doesn't, so that he can, be, uh, no, basically he can be brought up the right way, which is what the Lord did to us, right? Scriptures talk about in Hebrews, whom the Lord loves, he chasteneth. Right, so basically you get that spiritual ass whooping. Right, so same with your child, you're supposed to give him an ass whooping, right? But Esau says no, that's oppression. Your child comes home and says, I want to be a homosexual, you can't do anything about it. That's oppression. You try to beat your child, like, nah, hey, you ain't having that in this house, blah, 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 blah. Or, daddy, I want to be a girl, or whatever. You try to lay down the order, right? Esau's just going to take your child away and give it to some homosexual couples, man. Right, so that's oppression. Right, so Isaiah 3:12 says, as for my people, children of their oppressors, right, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee, cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. Right, so it says children of their oppressors. It's talking about, because you read, where is that? In fact, it's in here. Exodus 4:22. Right. It says, and thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith Yahweh, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. Right, so Israel's the firstborn. All right, and then these heathen nations, are quote unquote younger than than Israel, right? And it says, they're oppressing. They've all come, and they've all oppressed us. This is what you see here. It gives Psalms 83rd chapter, which goes in the example of how all these nations got together to basically deal with it. Put Israel down. Right, it's Exodus 4:22. No, I just read that. So Jeremiah 50:33 says, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were pressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Right, so we know that in the latter days that you're gonna have Israel, and the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom are pressed together. Right. And that's been over there in the land of America. You've had you've had the kingdom of Israel oppressed over there, right? So it's the northern kingdom. So your your Spics, your Native Americans, right? And you've had the children of Judah, right? So southern kingdom, right? Judah, Benjamin, Levi, they were oppressed, right? It says they refused to let them go, right? And, hey, they don't want to let us go. We too important, man. Jake too important. Hey, if every Jake in America went on strike, that place would be a shithole. It would be boring, right? But yeah, that was the land wherein we were oppressed together, man. Right, it says Micah 2. Says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds, right? Hey, that's these elites. Right, they're devising iniquity. They're going into, plans that, just basically just wickedness, man. Right? It says when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Right? So they'll come up with some next weird, wacky shit, and then they'll actually put it into practice. They'll actually make it reality. Right? It says, and they cover field and take them by violence in houses, and they shall take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Right, and then they cover fields and take them by violence. That's what they did. Look at the land of America. Esau wanted that, and then he took it, and that was that. And the rest was history, as they say. Right? Oppressing a man and his heritage. And that's the MO of this devil. He just goes around taking, stealing. That's just his MO. That's Revelation 6:4 says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given to him a great sword. And that's Esau, once again, going around taking peace from the earth, oppressing everyone, putting everyone into subjection under him. Right? But hey, now we're going to go into the flip side of these things, right? This is Isaiah 14:2 says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, right? And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh, for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So right now you've got the nation of Israel, the children of Israel. Right? We're in the laws of the law. We're the basis of man at this point in time, right? And all these heathen nations are above us, oppressing us. You get certain brothers, Elamite, just hate them, man. The children of Elam, selling them dodgy cars or whatever, what have you. You just got these Elamites, you got these Ishmaelites, going around there, Abid, right? You see how these guys get down. Right, so all these heathen nations, right, they've been oppressors over Israel. The scriptures say that we're gonna have them as we're gonna oppress them, and it's only righteous, right? It says verse 3 says, and it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from thy hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. And this goes in a whole chapter's good at this, 13th chapter as well, right? But hey, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? Basically, how's Babylon destroyed? How's Esau low, right? Because you look at this devil now, he looks like a guy that he's got the military might, this, that, and the other, right? But hey, we know why, because he was wicked, right? In fact, I believe that's actually touched on in here, verse 8. It's Sirach 10 and 8 says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, right? So these heathens, these Edomites, man, they're gonna lose the kingdom because of all of the wicked that they've done, right? Well, really, since the beginning of time, because they ain't paid, right? So when Babylon is destroyed, well, how's the oppressor cease, man? Hey, how's the golden city cease, man? Right? Because the Lord's gonna come. It goes and say that. It says, Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepters of the rulers. Right? He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. Right? So no one's trying to come up and say, oh, hey, don't do that to Mr. Esau. Right? Hey, no one's gonna stop Israel from kicking the Edomites' ass, man. Right? It says the whole earth is at rest and is quiet, and they break forth into singing. Right? Which allows me to get this in Sirach 10 and 4 says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. Right? Because when the children of Israel are in power, right, there's only going to be righteousness, man. Right? We're gonna demand righteousness. We see these heathen nations doing anything wicked, that gets stomped out immediately. Right? And then we continue on. Right? Not like in this kingdom where people are constantly oppressed. Right? They ain't, these heathens ain't gonna want to see the end of our rulership. As Proverbs 29 and 2 says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Right? So yeah, there is gonna come a time when we go and say, man, how have the oppressors ceased? Right? But when the children of Israel are in rulership and then in power, right? When we've got these heathens, under subjection, right? We've got these Edomites in slavery, man. The men and their women. Right, so with that, Lord's will, that was edifying. Until the next time, shalom.